Welcome to Must Do Disney, Disney California Adventure. What's going on, everybody? I'm David. This is our family small shop, Mickey and Mandy. We're Disney adults that create custom bags, screen printed shirts, and handmade home decor, inspired by everybody's favorite magical theme parks and perfect for your next visit to the Disneyland Resort. And on the topic of Disneyland, I welcome you back to another entry in our Disneyland series. Obviously, this week we're going to be talking about our personal Disney California Adventure must-do attractions. Now, longtime subscribers at this point know that I try to be as fair as I possibly can with my must-do videos, and we're going to do one attraction per land. And if I can be honest with you, you don't need to expect me cheating at any point in this video. I'm not going to be dubbing a whole land a must-do attraction. This was actually a pretty open and shut one for must-do attractions. Now, Disney California Adventure as a park, it's a completely different park from when it first opened in February of 2001. It has gone through completely different identity changes over the years. Back in the day, it was essentially a California postcard that came to life, but now it is home to some of our favorite Disney IPs and worlds and characters. Everything that you could possibly want out of a Disney park could potentially be found right here. So without further ado, let's pull on that yellow strap and get going with these must-do attractions. We're going to start off our must-do list actually in Hollywood Land at Disney California Adventure. This is a land that doesn't really have a whole lot going on. It's a lot of sort of live performance and show experience. This is where Rogers the Musical was for a very long time. This is also where you can find the magic of Disney animation and you can draw your very own Disney character. This is also where you can find Mickey's PhilharMagic. But our must-do attraction for Hollywoodland is going to be Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue. And it's kind of a limited time offer must-do experience. So for Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue, this is a pretty standard Disney dark ride insofar as you're in a vehicle and you go through the story itself. This attraction tells the story of Monsters, Inc. from the point of view of your very own Monstropolis cab, oddly enough. Again, nothing super groundbreaking when it comes to this attraction, but it is one of the few Monsters, Inc. experiences that you can find in a Disney park, and this is also going to be a very good way to kind of scratch an itch until Monstropolis opens at Disney World, at Disney's Hollywood Studios here within the next few years or so. But remember when I said earlier, this is kind of a limited time offer when it comes to a must-do experience because it has been confirmed that Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue will be closing within the next maybe year or so and will be replaced with a brand new Pandora Avatar experience coming to Disney California Adventure. So for those of you that are fans of Pandora, the world of Avatar at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Disney World, you do have something new to look forward to at California Adventure. So for me, this is the must-do for this land, mostly because it's fun. I love Monsters, Inc., but again, kind of a limited time offer, so make sure you get out there and you ride this while you can. My experience, we didn't really wait long for this attraction, our last visit to Disneyland. I think if anything, I'm pretty sure we were able to score lightning lane passes for like within the next half hour or so. So that was a pretty quick on and off attraction. For our next California Adventure must-do, we're actually going to stay on the topic of Pixar here for just a second. We're going to head over to Pixar Pier, and we are going to take a look at the Incredicoaster. Again, one of the, I think might be the only Incredibles ride at a Disney park. Formerly California Screamin' at Paradise Pier, I think it's Paradise Pier, this attraction was essentially just a standard coastal roller coaster that you would find at some, I guess the idea was some sort of coastal California carnival kind of a deal, but obviously with a launch and a loop, it's going to be a little bit more intense. And with the Incredibles retheme that they gave this attraction, I'd like to think they kind of turned it up to 11 because the music, that iconic Incredibles music, just makes it so much more thrilling and exciting. Not intense, just thrilling. And of course, you get to see your favorite Incredibles characters. They're all there showing off their powers. It's so much fun. Again, pretty standard coaster, but it can get a little intense, especially if you're not huge fans of launches or loops. So keep that in mind. This is not Space Mountain. This is not Big Thunder. This is not Matterhorn bobsleds. This is a roller coaster proper. I would probably put this more on par with Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios, but just outside and in California. And this is one that, if I remember correctly, I think we did Standby for it our first time when it was California Screamin', but when we did it a couple of years ago, we were able to score lightning lanes for Incredicoaster, because standing in that line, no thank you. Moving on here in our Disney California Adventure must-dos, we're going to head over to Paradise Gardens Park. I almost messed that up again. But for our Paradise Gardens Park attraction, we're actually going to give it to Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid. Because the thing with Paradise Gardens is, again, this is kind of another land in California Adventure where there are attractions, but between Golden Zephyr, which I mean, to be sure, I haven't heard bad things about it, but I haven't heard like raving reviews about it either. And then you've got Goofy's Sky School, which is like the attraction that you tell people to go on when you want to pull a prank on them. I'm going to give it to the Little Mermaid attraction. And this is actually the first iteration of this attraction. A ride through of this and you'll see that this is actually very similar, almost a carbon copy of the version of this attraction that exists in New Fantasyland in the Magic Kingdom in Disney World. But this attraction actually came first. This was the first version of the attraction as it opened. Only real differences are that it's not in Prince Eric's castle, and that's it. And to be sure, just because it's the same attraction does not mean we should discount this experience. This is a really fun ride, and I can tell you from personal experience, this is a great way to just kind of get out of the sun, off your feet, and kind of bring your heart rate down. What I mean by that, I kind of made an oopsie, and I still feel really bad about this, but my last trip to Disneyland was with friends. I've mentioned this before on the channel. We went out to California for a friend's wedding, and Disneyland was just kind of a happy pit stop along the way. But when we went to California Adventure, I had an itinerary, more or less. So we started with Soarin', and then we did Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, we did Spider-Man Web Slingers, we did the Incredicoaster. So three, because Soarin's not exactly like a big, super intense attraction, so three kind of high thriller attractions back to back. We kind of needed to take a break a little bit from anything that was, you know, high octane, if you will. And the Little Mermaid attraction fit that bill perfectly. Again, it got us off our feet, it got us out of the sun. It's a slow moving attraction, some wonderful, iconic music and characters that we all know and love. And it was just, again, a great way to kind of bring our heart rate down before we, you know, got right back into doing more stuff at California Adventure. Still feel bad about that. But when we did it, it was a walk-on. We didn't do lightning lanes. We didn't have to wait very long. There was like 2 families ahead of us right onto the ride. Next on the Disney California Adventure must-do list, we are going to be heading over to Cars Land. And I mean, obviously, the must-do attraction at Cars Land is going to be Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. I'm just kidding. It's Radiator Springs Racers. Come on, guys. But yeah, for me, Radiator Springs Racers being the must-do attraction in Cars Land, this was an absolute no-brainer. Don't get me wrong. Every single part of Cars Land is flawless. The cozy cone, bread, macaroni, and cheese cones. Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, again, a very low-impact attraction. So much fun. But for me, Radiator Springs Racers is the quintessential Cars experience that you are ever going to get in a Disney park. I mean, you go through Radiator Springs to get there, and you go around the radiator cap, you see the waterfall, and you get to enter Radiator Springs, you see the neon, and you see all of your favorite Cars characters. Lightning, Sally, Mater, Doc, Ramon, Luigi, Flo, they're all there. And, I mean, you get to race around Willie's Butte. It is such a fun experience. I cannot recommend this attraction enough. And this must-do experience does come with not a story, but just a tip that I cannot stress enough. Do not do standby. Do not do lightning lanes if you can avoid it. Radiator Springs Racers does have a single rider option. So what does that mean? We haven't really talked about single rider experiences here in any of the must-do videos. But the way that single rider works, it's exactly what it sounds like. So the vehicles have, I think, 6 seats. So essentially what that is, if a family of 5 goes into a vehicle, there's 1 seat that's left. So a cast member will go to the single rider line and say, single rider, you sit here. And that's it. Plain and simple. Not a big deal. I would recommend doing this if you are going with other grown members of your family, Or if you're going like what we did, if you're going with friends from college or whatever the case may be, and you don't mind being separated from your group and you're just looking to do the ride, do the single rider. Obviously, if you have little ones, there are rules and expectations that you need to be with your child when you do the attraction. So bear that in mind. If that's the case, it might be more worth your while to just do the lightning lane. But I cannot recommend single rider enough. We really only waited maybe 20 minutes both times that we did it, because that's the other thing, is we were able to do it twice during our day at California Adventure, and it was because of the single rider line. So make sure you do that. You can't buy individual lightning lanes. This is like the single lightning lane pass, so it is going to be a little bit more expensive for your lightning lane pass. And also, everybody and their brother rope drops this attraction first thing in the morning because they don't want to spend the money on the lightning lane and they don't want to be stuck in a long standby. But that line really doesn't go down. So if you can, do the single rider. Next Disney California Adventure must do, we're going to head over to one of the original lands of California Adventure, Grizzly Peak. Grizzly Peak is kind of another one. Not a whole lot going on over there aside from Grizzly River Rapids, and there is sort of this climbing, hiking, little mountain trail that your little ones can do. Very Tom Sawyer Island adjacent, aside from it being a swamp, it's more of a mountain. But getting to the actual must-do, it's going to be Soarin'. Soarin', to me, it's the classic Disney California attraction. During all of the advertisements from when the park initially opened, this was the ride that they would show off more often than anything else. And really the only attraction that still kind of exists in its original form. Because yeah, I mean, the roller coaster for Incredicoaster is still there, but I mean, it's not about the California coastline anymore. Mike and Sully to the Rescue used to be Superstar Limo, and we all know how that turned out. But Soarin' as it exists in California Adventure is not too different than its Epcot counterpart, aside from the fact that this one, again, obviously came first, where you are seated in sort of the steel hang glider and you are being flown through the shot, and you get to see so many wonderful and breathtaking sights from around the world, over California. Such a cool experience. This is what we rope dropped when we went to Disneyland a couple years ago, and this was the move because everybody's going to Radiator Springs, everyone's going to Guardians of the Galaxy, everyone's going to Incredicoaster, no one's going to Soarin'. We waited maybe 10 minutes for this attraction, and it was just because they only had one theater operating, and they had already started the movie. So it was one of those things that, like, okay, well, obviously we need to wait for that to be over. And this is where I'm going to recommend you keep the Disneyland app downloaded during your visit to Disneyland, because they do have different versions of Soarin' that kind of rotate through. Traditionally, it's Soarin' around the world, where they kind of take you across the globe, kind of how it exists in Epcot. You see Matterhorn, you see the Taj Mahal, you see the Great Wall of China, so many other wonderful wonders of the world. But with this being in Disney California Adventure, they do also tend to rotate in Soarin' over California, the original version of the attraction, where you see the Golden Gate Bridge and you get to actually fly over Disneyland. Yosemite, I can't believe I forgot Yosemite. But this year, from what I've been able to gather, they are doing a special version of Soarin' over America for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. So again, keep that Disneyland app downloaded so that when you go to California Adventure, give that attraction a click and see which version of the attraction you're about to experience. And before we get to our last must-do Disney California Adventure attraction, everybody, I do want to ask very quickly, make sure you subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss out on any future Disneyland videos. And this way you don't miss out on any awesome behind-the-scenes looks at how we make some of the awesome handmade products on our family small shop, and that is Mickey and Mandy. And while you're at it, make sure you check out our family small shop, the actual website itself, www.mickeyandmandy.com. Again, my mom makes some of the awesome handmade bags that you see behind me in the videos. Me and my sister, we get to screen print these fantastic shirts that are perfect for your next visit to Disneyland or Disney World. And then me and my dad, we get to make some of the home decor that you see behind me, the best way to add just that little magical touch to your home. All right, now on with the show. For the last must-do attraction at Disney California Adventure, we are going to head over to Avengers Campus for, let's be honest here, it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Formerly the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, this attraction is still a drop ride in its truest form, but with some awesome thrills straight from the Marvel Cinematic Universe with our favorite group of misfits, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and their impeccable taste in music. Really, the only difference between Tower of Terror and Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is that you don't go straight up and down. You kind of hang out in the scene for a little bit. You bounce up and down to kind of give you this little hover effect with your lift. And you get to actually see your favorite characters from Guardians of the Galaxy. Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Drax, they're all there. And just like with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot, every single time you do the attraction, you're going to get a different song every time. So the first time that we did this, we got Burnin' Love by Elvis Presley. Let us know in the comments, what songs have you gotten on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout? But just keep in mind with this attraction, it is a drop ride, so if you're not a huge fan of drop rides, maybe sit this one out. Can be just a little intense, so just keep that in mind. And also, this is really only one of 2 attractions in Avengers Campus right now, the other one being Spider-Man Web Slingers, but it was revealed at D23, I think it may have been last fall. They did confirm that some new experiences are going to be coming to Avengers Campus in the coming years. We are getting this sort of Stark Tech flight simulator based attraction. It looks like Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, but in the air, weirdly enough. And then we are getting the main e-ticket Avengers attraction. Not a whole lot has been revealed about that experience, but as we get more with D23s coming up over the next couple of years, I'll be sure to share that information with you. Just keep that in mind. Avengers Campus might look like a little bit of a construction site in the next couple of years or so. And those are our must-do attractions at Disney California Adventure. Obviously, not every land was featured. Buena Vista Street and San Francisco Square and the Performance Corridor. Yeah, the Performance Corridor. Those 3 lands, unfortunately, do not have attractions necessarily, but that doesn't mean that these aren't lands that you absolutely shouldn't check out when you go to your visit. Buena Vista Street, you can check out the Carthay Circle. They do have a sit-down dining option, some phenomenal cocktails over there. At San Francisco Square, kind of a food hall sort of a vibe inspired by Big Hero 6. Big seating in the middle, all sorts of quick service dining options around it. It's a great way if someone's kind of feeling different food vibes and you're not looking for something fried at Avengers Campus or Pixar Pier. It's a great way to get something a little bit fresher, but everybody can kind of get what they want. Also, just in general, if you're a fan of Big Hero 6, it's worth at least passing through. And then Performance Corridor, from what I've been able to gather, this is where a lot of the live music and decorations come from with all the seasonal celebrations that California Adventure does. So this is definitely worth a walk through during the Lunar New Year or Dia de los Muertos, the Christmas season, just to kind of take a look at the decorations, and there could be some live music happening there, some local artists, so be sure you at least pass through there to see what California Adventure is celebrating during your visit. But yeah, again, those are our California Adventure must-do attractions. Make sure you subscribe over here to our YouTube channel, check out our family small shop, and be sure you follow us over on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. That way you don't miss out on new product drops, and this is where we're going to be posting about all of our weekly ready-to-ship drops. My mom is always working hard on handmade bags. There's going to be some brand new shirts that are going to be coming to the ready-to-ship drop soon as well, so make sure you follow us over on those social media platforms so you don't miss out on that content. But more importantly, everybody, we thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you real soon.